Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Ashley, and today we're doing a different kind of video. I'm going to talk about something that I've had my entire life, which is hyperhidrosis. What is hyperhidrosis? Basically, it is excessive sweating in one or more parts of the body. So for me, it is mainly my hands, my feet, and my armpits, but I know some people that have had it with head sweating, upper lip sweating. It can affect any part of your body that sweats. If you have hyperhidrosis, thanks for tuning in, and just know you're not alone, because I know that I have had a journey in my life with this, and it hasn't gotten better or worse since I was a kid, but I feel like I've been able to deal with it mentally better. Everyone has a different situation and just have to deal with the way God made you. So let's start with childhood. Growing up with hyperhidrosis was an up and down journey. So actually it was mostly a down journey. People didn't want to touch my hands because they knew they were sweaty. If during Red Rover my hands accidentally hit someone's, because you like lock arms in that game, and they felt how sweaty they were, they'd be like, ew, gross, or like, ew, don't touch me. And we'd also learn swing dancing or two-stepping in junior high. I was really nervous. We partnered with someone that I wasn't really close to or friends with because I was just scared they would judge me about my sweaty hands. I remember writing exams in high school and my paper would be a little bit wet and it would like curl because that's what paper does when it gets wet. And I just remember thinking how embarrassing that was, and I hated it. And yeah, if you've experienced this, let me know down below. I know I'm not the only one, but it did feel a lot like it when I was in high school. I have had friends that, you know, we're fellow girls, you know, we should be supporting each other, and they would put me down about my hands being sweaty, and it was actually really annoying because I don't know, it's such a weird thing to judge someone about, and it's something that I was very self-conscious about throughout probably my entire high school experience. I took piano lessons all throughout high school. I have my grade 10 conservatory, so yes, I can play piano quite well, but I remember I would have water droplets on the piano and I would just be so embarrassed. But even during recitals where I played in front of a crowd, I would bring a little like handkerchief or some kind of cloth with me up on the stage and wipe my hands before I played, and then wipe the keys off lightly as fast as I could getting off the piano, because I didn't want the next person playing to see it. My piano teacher was comforting about it because she told me that she had another student that was like a 50-year-old man that had it, and he would bring her handkerchief up there, and that's actually why I started doing that. Even my own mom sometimes would be like, ew, don't touch me, why are your hands sweaty? And I'm like, you made me this way. So there are a few ways that you can deal with hyperhidrosis, and I did experiment with a few of them. One thing that my doctor asked me at first was, are you anxious? And I was like, no, I'm not anxious. Even when I'm watching TV, my hands will be super sweaty and dripping, and they're sweaty right now as I talk. I tried Drysol that you apply on your hands, armpits, feet, wherever you need it. That worked well on my armpits, but it made my armpits so itchy, and it did nothing to my hands and feet. So if you have hyperhidrosis like I do, I don't really think Drysol would do anything for you, but I don't know. It says on the bottle that it works for people with sweaty hands and sweaty feet, but I followed the instructions on it and absolutely nothing happened. So it just made everything itchy. So I just stopped with that. One of the other options that was brought up to me was botox. So when they do the botox treatment, they inject the botox into the nerves where you need to stop the sweating. So they can do it in your armpits or in your hands. And this is supposed to stop the nerves from triggering the sweat glands and therefore not releasing sweat. I don't know if this works, but I do know one guy that tried it when I was in high school that had it as well. I never met him personally, but his mom told me this when I worked with her, and she said that her son had gotten the Botox done for his sweaty hands, and she said that it didn't really work. So again, I don't know if that works for people. I know that it must work for people if it is one of the treatments out there. If you've tried it, let me know down below. I would like to know, because, you know, I'm still open to trying different things if they work and if they are low maintenance. Another treatment that was brought up to me by my doctor was electrolysis. The electrolysis treatment is basically, it's where you put your hands and feet in the water and they will put an electric current that goes through your hands, I think for like 20 to 30 minutes. I haven't tried this. It sounded kind of scary to me, and I don't know anyone that's tried it before either. So if you've tried this before, let me know how it works. I'd like to know if it worked for you. One treatment that was never brought up to me by my doctor, but that my friend had tried, was acupuncture. So he had needles put, I think, somewhere in the wrist for a certain amount of time, and he said that this worked for him. So I might try this because it sounds really simple and easy to do. I will let you guys know which treatment worked for me. That was glycopyrrolate. So glycopyrrolate is a compound that you have to have made for you by a pharmacist. So it was prescribed to me by a dermatologist, And glycopyrrolate are these little tiny capsules with a powder compound. I would be able to take between 1 to 5 per day depending on how much activity I was doing that day. So if I just wanted to stop my sweating for the day and I was just chilling at home watching TV, maybe doing homework, I would take 1. If I was going to do a jog and go to the gym and have more sweat than regular, then I would take 2. And if I was to go on stage and play piano or do a track and field tournament or do something that I would be sweating a lot, I would take 3 or 4. It worked perfectly. Like, my hands were so dry, perfectly dry, and I remember being so happy when I had taken these pills. The only bad thing about this treatment was that it also dried out the mouth. And if you don't drink enough water, it can lead to constipation. I would have to drink a lot more water than usual because my mouth would be so dry. Get the fiber in because it doesn't target where there's sweat, it just takes sweat out of your entire body. So the category that glycopyrrolate is under is anticholinergics, and this includes medications to manage excessive sweating, and this includes glycopyrrolate, and there are a couple others that they mention, and I don't know what those are or have heard of them. Glycopyrrolate was the only one that was mentioned to me, and it was like a blessing from God. I thought, I was like, yo, this stuff is amazing. So it says here glycopyrrolate works by peripherally blocking the chemical messenger acetylcholine as it attempts to travel to receptors on the sweat glands that are responsible for triggering sweating. Similar receptors are, however, located in multiple areas of the body, so there can be a range of side effects from this kind of therapy, such as dry mouth, constipation, impaired taste, blurred vision, urinary retention, and heart palpitations. This was my favorite treatment. What do I do now that I have it? As a 27-year-old, I stopped taking glycopyrrolate a few years ago, I think around my 3rd year of university, because I just felt like I wanted to just see what would happen if I did. I was hoping I would be one of those lucky people that just gets less sweaty as they get older, because a lot of people were telling me, Ashley, this is just adolescence. You will stop sweating as much when you get older. And did I? No, I didn't. I still sweat just as much. My hands, you can't see right now, but my hands are so sweaty as I talk right now. I think the difference between why I was so obsessed with treating it and why I was so self-conscious about it in high school compared to now is that I've accepted it as part of who I am. And I know that doesn't really help people that can't, and sometimes it still bothers me. I've also kind of adapted what I wear to things that are less noticeable when I sweat. So for example, I like to wear white, black, obviously. Clothing with prints on them are great because they don't show as much sweat. Even having your hair down helps because it kind of covers the armpits. I like sleeveless shirts because it does help air it out a little bit. I don't like to wear clothing that you can see when it's touched something moist or whatever. So for example, suede. I don't like to wear suede pants because if I wipe my hands on it, you can totally tell. One thing that I do hate though with the sweaty feet is that it does lead to stinky shoes, especially like sneakers or flats, so I never ever wear flats. Socks always keep the shoes smelling good because the sweat is on the socks, not the shoes. When I work out though and my feet get way more sweaty, I like to use this Dr. Scholl's spray that gets rid of the odor in the shoes. But I think a lot of athletes and fitness people have that issue no matter what. Like, smelly feet are a very common thing in the world. So that's another thing I like to think about is, you know, whatever, it's feet. I guess now I kind of have just dealt with it. I kind of just ignore it and accept it, and it's almost like second nature to me now when it happens that whatever, my hands are sweaty. But I know that that's easier said than done. This is how it's going to be probably forever. I hope that this is somewhat uplifting. I know it doesn't really sound like it. I think that a lot of people don't have a solution for it. I think that if you are someone like me that isn't really a fan of, you know, taking medications or doing treatments, then you almost have to take it for what it is, accept it, tell yourself, this is just sweat. If you are confident about it around the people that you're close to, they won't bother you about it. It is a little bit freeing when everyone around you that you're close to knows about it and they just don't care. Then you'll be a lot happier and you'll be able to be more yourself around them. You also have to be confident about it in order to block out the people that judge you about it or tease you about it. So I kind of wish I had this mentality in high school because I did take up a lot of time thinking about it. I decided to do this video from the heart, so I didn't really prepare anything. I just try to talk about it from my experience. But I would love to answer any of you guys' questions or comments about hyperhidrosis. Just remember that you are not alone. It's just sweat. And yes, it affects our lives daily because it can get in the way sometimes. But as you get older, you'll learn to deal with it better and you'll learn to do what you want to do in your life with it. It's just something that affects things that require grip. Thank you so much for watching this video of me talking about hyperhidrosis. If you have hyperhidrosis, just remember you are not alone. A lot of people have it. It gets better. You can do anything that you want in your life. Sweat should not stop you from doing things. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you have hyperhidrosis or if you like my take on it. And subscribe to my channel by clicking the button down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!